Okay, welcome class. I wanted to do a brief introduction to your journals. This is going to be your main lifeline during the class, that and your classmates, your teammates. So just quickly, so this is one of the journals, the first one for Calculus 3, and the other one, Calculus 3.5, a little bit thinner. Wrong one there, sorry, this one here. So first of all, thank you to the Copy Center and the College Charleston Bookstore for producing these. This has been probably at this point now going on a 10-year process when I started doing this. And I was, as I mentioned in my introduction, I've been teaching Calculus 1 and derivatives and integrals and a little bit of Calc 3 for a Math 105 business calculus class repeatedly every semester, multiple sections. And this is the first time I get to teach to upper level students, which again, very exciting for me and to use these books. So there's some great textbooks out there, but I think there's some pieces that are missing, particularly when we're trying to teach in an online environment. And that's exactly what these books were intended to do. So I have designed them to make sure we understand not just calculating. I don't want to just produce a bunch of human calculators because we have some amazing tech tools that already do those sorts of things. I want us to also, besides the calculations, understand the concepts behind those so that we can build and create new things and invent new ideas. And then you also see in these that there are concepts, calculations, tech tools are used often, and lots of activities, so very hands-on interactive. And so I guess I would say one of the main things you want to do with these journals, read every part of every page, and when it tells you to do something, often it'll be in a gray font that's saying it's an action to do it. So go ahead and do those. Even if it's as a thought experiment rather than, sometimes it'll ask you to take a piece of paper, fold it and throw it or something, or grab an orange, cut it in half. And so it's best when you can actually do those physical things. I promise, in fact, I guarantee you will learn the concepts and understand them if you actually do as the activity is designed. But sometimes maybe you were in a car while you're trying to do this, driving somewhere, or not driving, you're passenging while you're doing this, and you need to read and review and study on your way somewhere. Maybe you didn't have that orange, but you can think about the activity in the same way. So I want to make sure when you can always do those active assignments, if not, make them a thought experiment. I think I mentioned too that these have been a long 10-year process, so I'm also looking at any point, they are not done, it could be another 10 years, and I would love feedback from you. Again, particularly my upper level talented students, this is the first time teaching to that audience. I'd love to see, if you see anything, if it's a typo or a design error, why is this line here? Or yeah, that part I didn't quite understand the example. And there will be plenty of opportunity for you to give me that feedback through exit surveys at the end of every module. Find any errors, that's going to be a bonus too, because I much appreciate that. Let's see, what else? In these, one thing I like to do when I first get them, I tried everything I could do to keep the cost down for you guys. So I make 0 cents off these. The college makes 0 cents. The only one that gets a little bit of return is the bookstore, Barnes & Noble. Does a slight markup when they hold them in inventory or mail them to you. But so we did everything good to keep the cost down. And so in doing that, one of the things is I wanted to have bleed around the edges of the pages, but that would have made them have to cut and add increased cost to you guys. So instead, but one thing I like to do is pages that are really important are these chapter maps at the beginning of every chapter, and they sort of have an overview of what's happening. And they're nice to be able to find quickly, but because there wasn't bleed to the edge of the page, one thing I usually do is just grab a marker as soon as I get them and go ahead and just add the bleed to the edge of that page, right? So on all the chapter maps, and then that makes them really easy when I'm flipping through to go ahead and find those. But what's so nice about the chapter maps, and again, we'll see this through activities and other lectures with screen shares, but this is like an overview of that whole chapter. And so you've got the topics at the top, that's kind of like your index and table of contents. But then there's things called activities, calculation pages, your challenge problems, math morals, and then the tech tools. And you're going to, in this assignment for orientation, also read carefully the preface, which describes some of the philosophy behind the books and some of these different types of pages. But this chapter map shows you that in chapter 1, there's a lot of hands-on activities. So, and many fewer calculation pages or calculation practice problems. And so what that means in general is that chapter 1 is a lot about concepts. We really want to make sure we have a physical, geometric, conceptual understanding of things. And there are some calculations to be done. And to do those calculations, sometimes you can use tech tools. So there's a few things we'll do by hand, but then we're also, again, going to take advantage of these wonderful tools that exist. And I'll have some demos, and there's instruction pages in the journals about some of my favorite tech tools, but maybe you'll find some others and tell us about them in discussion boards. And then the other thing is your challenge problems. So this semester, you will be working with group members to complete one challenge problem for every module. A module will cover a chapter in a journal. So in chapter 1, you'll get to choose one of the 2 challenge problems that your group wants to work on. And to do that, again, it's a good idea to read those first at the beginning. Maybe you won't completely understand what techniques you're going to need. That's fine. That'll give you motivation to learn those techniques as we go through the material. And you're welcome, because they're usually a more challenge, to use tech tools to help you do that. But to even model the problem, you're going to need to understand things, and that's where the activities come in. Okay, so that's sort of a general overview of these journals and how we're going to use them. I think I've mentioned a few times now what a long process it's been, and a bit of a love-hate relationship building these. And just to, again, kind of show you an older one, I don't know if you can even see in the video here, but this one is just so discolored along the edges here from me just editing it away, going back and forth through it. The edges are all messed up and torn. The inside's just full of notes, handwritten notes, and edged page torn out. So I'm hoping yours will be that way by the end. This is an old Calc 3 journal that I've edited. By the end, hopefully you will have formed a relationship with that, and it will hold everything that you needed to learn Calculus 3 in. Okay, thank you.